Windows user tips number 5. This is organizing desktop on Windows 10. And a computer can get really messy on the desktop. Sometimes you walk up to somebody's computer, there's icons all over the place, there's data files all over the place, and it looks like a mess. And they say, no, everything's organized. I know where everything's at on my desk. And they know the same thing on their computer. Well, we can organize that better, or you can organize your own better, because they just typically evolve over time. So we're going to go to my computer number 3 for this, because it's kind of a mess. So let's do a few things. Let's say you walk up to somebody's computer, you want to find a particular icon, you don't know where it is. You can click on any icon on the desktop, press the letter A, that'll take you to the first icon that begins with an A. Press the letter A again, it goes to another one. You can see my highlighter bouncing around. So I press the letter A, or maybe I press the letter E, and it goes to EN triple head, whatever that is. And press it again, there's no more. So the point there is you can press the letter on the keyboard to go to an icon that begins with that letter. Then let's move icons. You can click on an icon, hold down the mouse button, and drag it to another location. You can do that all day long. You can drag a lasso around some icons and move them together as a group. So I could lasso these icons over here, and suppose I want to move them as a group, I can point the mouse to any one of those icons, drag the whole group of them over. Then delete shortcuts that you don't need, they're redundant. How about this Acrobat Reader DC? Nobody would launch Acrobat Reader DC. You're going to typically double click a PDF file that automatically opens Adobe Acrobat. Why have it on the desktop? You can right click on that and then choose delete, or you can just press the delete key on the keyboard once that icon is highlighted. Press a confirmation that you want to take that to the recycle bin. As long as it has this shortcut arrow, you know that you're only deleting a shortcut. You're not actually uninstalling the program. Let's see, there's another one around here, Google Chrome. I have that pinned down here on the taskbar. I don't need it on the desktop. I'll press the delete key on my keyboard and then press the enter key to answer yes to that question. Then let's go to the view menu. I'm going to right click anywhere in the blank area of the desktop. I can't do this on an icon. I have to right click in a blank area and go to the view menu. Now I'll start at the bottom here, show desktop icons. We can immediately turn them off. If you've got things, I don't know, on your desktop that are just, maybe you have a nice wallpaper on the background. You'd rather just see that for now. You can right click and then turn that back on when you're ready to see your icons. Now notice before I turn that back on that these two options are grayed out. You can't select those options while you're not displaying icons. So when I put that check mark for show desktop icons, these two items are now available. I want to point out this align to grid. If I remove that check mark, that means I can move an icon around. And watch this, I can kind of overlap another icon. That's because it's not aligning to the grid. I'll right click, go to the view menu and choose align to grid. Watch that icon that I just did there to the left of these context menus I have open. When I select that, that pops that into a grid, meaning one of the rows or one of the columns. It's actually both in a column and a row, isn't it? So then right click again, go to the view menu and then auto arrange icons. What does that do? Well, that's going to slam everything over to the left side of the screen. If I try dragging one of these out somewhere else because I want to now organize things how I want them and let go of the mouse button, it just pops right back there because it's still set on auto arrange. So I come back to the view menu, remove that check mark. Now I could perhaps start moving things to where I want. So here's a Snagit. I clicked on that one. I'll do a control click on this one. And then I'll click on maybe some other icons that are kind of similar purpose. Snagit, and then drag these all out here. And then perhaps I want to arrange them together. So they're kind of in their own grouping out here, if that's something that's of use to you. So then deleting shortcuts, view menu, and then let's look at, that was sort by name. Let's, all of these over here, let me point out, they're not sorted by name. So there's a Z, U, W, S, R, I, S. Those are not in order by name. Click on the sort by name. Everything slams over to the left-hand side, sorted by name. I'll drag one out here because we still don't have it auto arranged, so I can still move them around if I so choose. If I want to move something to a different position, I can bring it down here and click it, let go of the mouse button to put it into place. I'm going to go back and sort again by name. Now let's look at this. Is it really sorted by name? There's this PC and recycle bin are always up in the left-hand corner if you have those two items turned on. Then there's an A, D, 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 G, L's, M, O, S, 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 and then look at this, goes to B. Well, what happened there? That's not alphabetical order. Then D, D, now they seem to be in alphabetical order from this point forward, right? Okay, so what's going on here? So the answer to this has to do with the computer profile and or the public profile and the user profile. So if I come in here to File Explorer, expand the C drive, expand the users folder, and then go into the public folder, expand that, I want to find the public desktop folder. So look in here, here's public documents, public downloads. There's nothing there called public desktop. Well, that's because it's a hidden folder. So I could unhide folders, or I could click up here in this address bar and just put a backslash and then type the word desktop and press enter. Now I'm seeing the desktop folder. Look at this. Adobe Application A PowerSoft. There it is. Adobe Application A PowerSoft. What does this end with? It ends with Snagit Stream Capture. So here was Snagit 2019 down here, then Stream Capture, and then that's when we get to the B, that we lose the alphabetical order. So where is this bulk rename utility? Well, it's not in the public folder. We've got to go to the user folder. In this case, it's called Doug, and then go to desktop. The user desktop folder is not hidden. And we see that starts with bulk rename utility, so that's right here. And then these will match up with the rest of the alphabetical order all the way down to the word Zoom. Now, what if we really want them all in alphabetical order? We just like that way. Well, what we could do is we could take all of these items that are in the user desktop, right click on that, choose cut, and then go to the public desktop. So I'll click on public and then put that backslash desktop, and then right click in this area and choose paste. Now that's not going to make a difference to what we see on the desktop, and I give permission. Click on that checkbox and continue, so it does that for all of those items. It's moving 19 items, but I'm going to have the same items on the desktop. I'm just moving them now from the user profile to the public profile. So now look at the alphabetical order. Here's A, D, and then goes E's, H, L, L, O, R, S, 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 all the way through in alphabetical order, if you wanted that. And then let's go look at desktop icons and themes. So I'm going to press Windows key, type themes. Go into themes and related settings, shows up there in the search result. I press enter. And then on this screen, we have to scroll down to find desktop icon settings, or if you have this window wide enough, desktop icon settings is over here on the right hand side. Click on that, and then we have the option here to be able to display the computer or this PC icon on the desktop in the recycle bin. I had a client just yesterday that said, I want a clean desktop. I don't want anything on my desktop. So we took both of those items off and we went and deleted all the shortcuts that she didn't need, and we gave her access elsewhere to other things that she did want. So Windows 10 by default, as far as I've been able to see, usually does not have the computer icon turned on. So if you want this icon, this PC icon, to show up on your desktop, you can come in here and do that check mark. So let's close that down. Now, those two items always show up in the upper left corner if you have them enabled. Then let's suppose you want to rename the PC. Instead of this PC, that's kind of generic, that's kind of weird. Maybe you want to call it, let's see, we'll call it Doug's computer. So you can call it anything that you want. So it shows right. That's not the way to spell my name. Gosh, I hate it when people misspell my name, don't you? Put an O there. There we go. So then that's changing the name. And then let's suppose you walk up to somebody's computer, you're going to help them, or your own computer, and you find, gosh, there's a lot of data files on the desktop. We shouldn't have data files on the desktop. Well, how do we find those? Well, let's go right click and choose sort by item type. Now that's going to sort these in order by type. So here we see a couple PDF files. So that's data files. Here's some Excel files. So those are data files. And then let's see what else we have. I think there's some more data files here. I'm sure there are because I actually set some up here to prepare for this video. Where are the other data files? They should be together wherever they're at. Well, I guess that maybe that's all I had. All right, so then I'll just hold down the left mouse button and drag those out as a group. Oh, here it was. It was the access. Those are all data files. They should not be stored on the desktop. And sometimes when you download a file or download a PDF, it tends to default to saving to the desktop. That's not a good idea. It uses extra system resources. So what I like to do is right-click on the desktop, create new folder, and then call this desktop data or something appropriate. Okay, so then I'm going to put a lasso around all of those icons to select them all, and I'm going to drag any one of them so that it highlights this folder. And notice that it says move to desktop data. So it's going to move those in there, but they're still taking up system resources because they're on the desktop. So now I'm going to open File Explorer and then go to the Documents folder. And I'm going to drag that folder into the Documents folder. So that's putting all of those documents, all that data into the Documents folder, which is an appropriate place. Now I don't want to move them into Glen Agnes, so I'm going to move down here to where I'm not highlighting a folder. So now it says in that little bubble right there that it's going to move to Documents. I'll let go of the mouse button there, and then that puts that folder there. And then I'm going to hold down Control and Shift keys and drag that back out on the desktop. Notice it says Create Link in Desktop. I let go of the mouse button, so that has created a shortcut on the desktop to those data files. They no longer occupy system resources because it's just a shortcut. When you double click on that, you have access to those items. So you remove the data files from your desktop. So I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope that was useful to you. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.